So now that I've got a MacBook Pro with Retina display, I've been able to try out the Retina display for myself and see what it's like to have a high resolution display and see whether it's actually worth it or not. So that's why I want to share in this video what my top 5 reasons are to have a Retina display and whether it's actually necessary. So my first reason is because you get more real estate on the screen, so you can fit more on there. So with my Retina MacBook Pro and with the Mac operating system in general, you have the option to show more space or to show less space. And basically if you show more space, then everything's going to look a bit smaller, but that means you're going to be able to fit more on the screen, and I think Windows has got a similar option too. But this basically means that you're going to be able to fit more in there. You're going to be able to have 2 windows side by side and you're going to be able to see loads of information on them. And it's going to be really good for photo editing and video editing, because you're going to be able to see each individual pixel a lot better, and the pictures on there are just going to look a whole lot more clearer, as well as the videos. So for that reason it's going to be really good, and on programs such as Photoshop and Illustrator you're going to be able to see a lot more of the panes on the screen, so it's going to help a lot in that way. My second reason is one that may or may not bother you, but it's that text is a lot easier to see and a lot more clearer on a Retina display. Now on a 1080p display or lower, the text doesn't look that good, especially when it's really small, and sometimes it can be hard to make it out. And with desktop websites and applications, sometimes the text can be really small. So a Retina display really helps because it makes the text super clear and it makes you not have to zoom in to see it, which makes everything just a lot easier on your eyes. My third reason is something that again may or may not bother you, but it's that you can zoom in during screen recordings without it distorting and without the video quality looking really bad. So on a Retina display, because there's so many pixels, and on other high resolution displays, you're going to be able to zoom in because it's still going to be a good resolution to export and it's still going to look super clear. But then if you're starting with a 1080p display, then when you zoom in it's going to go below that, so if you export it as a 1080p video, then it's going to look a bit blurry and a bit distorted and a bit pixelated. So if you want to do a lot of screen recording, then I would recommend to go with a Retina display or just another high quality display or a 4K display. My fourth reason is another one that's to do with video, and it's that while you're editing video you're going to be able to see the full video in 1080p even though you've got the rest of the application around it. So obviously because you've got a higher resolution than 1080p, and you're most likely going to be exporting at 1080p because that's what most people still do, you're going to be able to scale everything else on the application to be able to see the full window in 1080p. So you're going to be able to get a better representation of what the final video is going to look like that you do export at that resolution. And it's going to make for a lot easier editing because there's just going to be a whole lot more space because of the reasons I mentioned before. And also because you're going to be able to see the video a lot better, especially if you scale the amount of space up on the Mac. And my fifth reason is again another reason that may or may not bother you, but it's just that everything looks so much clearer. So I did kind of mention this before with text, but it's not just limited to text, even though text is something that you do immediately notice. With a Retina display or a 4K display or another high resolution display, you're going to see everything a lot clearer. It makes using the operating system a lot better, and it does make it really hard to go back to 1080p. And it's obviously going to make watching videos, watching pictures, seeing Netflix, seeing YouTube or whatever you want to do look a whole lot better, especially if you're going to be watching 4K content, or even 1080p content is going to look a bit better. So if you want to watch a lot of video, if you want to look at a lot of pictures, if you're going to be doing photo editing and things like that, then it is a good idea to go with a high resolution display. And that's mainly it really. I would really recommend a high resolution display for people that are going to be doing something creative, whether it's drawing on their computer, whether it's going to be video editing, whether it's going to be photo editing. Those are really the best uses I think for a high resolution display, and those are the uses that I found a Retina display or a high resolution display or a 4K display would fit really well in. So really, I wouldn't really recommend a high resolution display to other people unless it's way within their budget and they have money to just throw away. So that's about it. Those are my 5 reasons why you should get a high resolution display. If you agree with these reasons, or if you've got a high resolution display yourself, or if you've got a 1080p display yourself and you're thinking of upgrading, be sure to tell me down in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.